live from New York, in the United States, on planet Earth, in the Andromeda system, during the zombie apocalypse. This is the New York Hardcore Chronicles live. Live, it's alive. What's happening? I am happy to see you. I'm happy to see you. And I hope you're well out there. I really thrilled to see you today, wherever you are on this planet. I am happy to see you right now. I really am. I hope you're well. Hope you're well and part of our worldwide hardcore family. So, you see, what's up in Arizona, brother? What's happening, Chris? In Arizona? Yeah, we have landed and we will persevere. Yes, my man. Hope you are taking care of my future Slayer bio. Yo, I told you I'll leave it for you in my will, man. Yes, Pepe. Hey, Drew. Hope you are well. Also, another great yo. It's Shout Out Sunday. Yo, I love that video that I just played. That we just saw. That unregenerate blood video. Love it. Love that video. I saw that video. I was like, yo, I got to get this dude. I got to get this dude on this show, man. I'm like a sucker for like corny, hardcore Unity songs. Like, I admit, like, I love corny Unity hardcore shit. That's like, what can I say? The cornier, the better. Anything that's like, we got to be united as one, like those, like that, just like, I'm powerless, man. I love that stuff, man. It's the best, man. What's up? What's up, Vinny? Hope you're well. Yeah, Oi from Switzerland. What's up, Patrick? Hope you're well. Yeah, yeah, right. Punch your friend in the face, united and strong. Absolutely. Belfast hardcore. Oi, oi. Right on. Hey, Gina, how are you? You know, I just love that corny stuff, man. I'm just love it. Still. Want to mention a couple of shows coming up. Next 4 shows. The next show is the holiday show. And you know what? We're going to have a few guests on that show. And I'm going to tell you some of the guests. Some of the guests on that show will be, if I can find, there we go. So the holiday show is coming up this Wednesday, December 23rd. We're going to have Kevin Egan from Beyond on the show talking about the documentary he made, What Waits Us, a Beyond Story. We're going to talk to him a little bit. We're going to have our friend Matt Wildcard Henderson from the Eulogy, formerly of Agnostic Front, and Madball on the show. We're going to have our old pal Jamie from SSD Control on the show. That's just a couple of what's happening on the holiday show this Wednesday. It's going to be a long show, so oi, what's up, Kevin? It's going to be a long show on Wednesday. It's the holiday show. We're going to drag everybody out. We're going to thank a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? There you go. Ciao from Milan, and Antonella. Boy, you Italians, man. Ciao from Milan. Right on. After the holiday show on Sunday, December 27th, we have the one, the only, John Joseph. That's right. John Joseph is on the show. And then after that, a week, actually, John Joseph's a week from today. Wednesday the 30th is Randy Blythe from Lamb of God. And then after that is Sab Gray, oi, 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 from Iron Cross, crucified for your skins. So there you go. That's what's happening with the next 4 shows. In the meantime, I'm sure we're all wondering, you see, cannot wait for the holiday show. Yeah, thanks, Christopher. Yeah, psyched. Hey, Steen, what's up, brother? Ciao from Italy. Morizio. Am I pronouncing that right? Morizio. Mancine. Ciao from Rovigo, Italy. Got a lot of oi oi from Scotland. Got a lot of people from Italy watching the show. That's cool. Hope all my Italian brothers and sisters are doing well. I'm happy that you're here today. I'm happy you're a part of this worldwide hardcore community of ours. I am thrilled. I'm thrilled to be doing a show like this that I love doing. I'm lucky. I'm a lucky guy. I have great support. What can I say? All right. I know you're wondering. I'm wondering. What's going on with the hardcore shutterbug, Steven Messina? What's up, bro? Here we go. If this is Steven Messina, it must be technical problem time. So, what is happening? Nope. Yep. Steven Messina. You know what? Everybody got to get on Steven Messina about buying a friggin' laptop already. The guy refuses to upgrade his system. So everybody got to get on his case. Tell him to take off his yarmulke and get a goddamn laptop already. Unbelievable. Oh, he's back. Let's see. Hey.
What's up?
Come on, bro.
How's everybody doing?
How's that laptop coming along?
It's coming along. Well, you bring up a good point. First of all, I want to apologize for missing the last show. I was doing 32 hours straight snow duty for work, and I was not able to make the show, but my heart was here with you. And in the meantime, shout out Sunday. I want to shout out Machine Gun Mikey, who turned me on to Unregenerate Blood and is kind of like adopted by the Beijing hardcore community. And I want to shout out our friend Bear, who took a nasty fall, and we're glad he's doing okay. You know, considering.
Yeah, I saw that, man. Looks like he busted himself up, man.
Oof, some rough pictures. I told him he should use them for an album cover. But,
like what was that Ghetto Boys cover when Bushwick Bill got shot and got his eye blown out?
Oh, in the eye, yes.
Oh man.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Listen. Sid the Kid, get a new laptop, you bum.
Listen.
Don't get an Acer either. Adam Sachs, get a damn laptop already. Is he using Adele? Adele?
Are
you friends with Adele?
Hello?
Adele? Love her.
I got no beef with Adele.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, what's up, Joe Ramini? What's happening?
I don't know why.
Anyway, let's do photo of the day. Wrong answers only, please. Here we go. Boom. What do we got? Wrong answers only. Let's have a few laughs. All right. Here you go. Adele isn't hardcore.
No way.
Yo, Adele's not hardcore, bro.
She's more like Norwegian black metal.
I hate that crap, man, honestly.
Not a corpse paint guy?
Bro. Does anyone see my contact lenses? Tracy Guns. Is it Tracy Guns? Is it Steve Wozniak? Is it Patrick Swayze? Oh, I get it now. I get it. Oh, has anyone seen my contact lens? All right. Good one, Lenny. Is it Garth Brooks? That's a good one, actually, Ice Pick 73. That's kind of funny with the guitar on his back. Is it Charlie Benante? Is it Shia LaBeouf?
Wow, we're getting deep with these wrong answers today.
Yeah, this is good. Wait, is it Hammerfall? Is it Axl Rose? Wait, Hammer.
I'm impressed with the Hammerfall.
Kelly Jean asks, "Is that Velvet?" Yes, I think it is, Kelly. I think it is Velvet. Is it Rico Suave? May in London wants to know. Is it Rat Bones? Oh shit!
Rat Bones.
Good. Is it Evan Seinfeld? Listen, if you saw what Evan Seinfeld looks like these days, you wouldn't even say that, man.
Yeah, he's about 40 pounds heavier than Evan in this picture.
Yeah, look up even Evan Seinfeld on Instagram. See what he's looking like these days. Is it Russell Crowe? Yeah, it's Russell Crowe 100 pounds ago. Is it C.D. Ramone? Is it Garth Brooks?
I'm curious to see if anyone gets this right.
I think somebody already kind of. Wait, hold on.
I'll be very happy impressed if they do.
Is it the fat? Is it the fat tone guy from NSYNC? That's pretty funny. Is it Ed Sheeran? Here you go. Halifax, Nova Scotia in the house? Is it Springsteen? Is that the guy from Mandalorian? Freddie Mercury, Elvis, Billy Ray Cyrus. Billy Ray Cypress Hill. Yeah. Is it George Costanza? All right. All right. We've had enough laughs. Is it Richard Birkenhead? Is it Taylor Swift? Steve Jones? Okay. How about some right answers? All right. How about a couple right answers? I am hyped for this show. All right. I am Drew for this show. Is it James Coburn? No.
James Coburn.
That's a good one, bro. All right, here we go. Is it Frank Turner?
Boom. Very nice.
All right, Frank Turner.
Nice. Good to see people know Frank.
Yep, I don't. I do not. I do not. I am not familiar with Frank's work. Will you please tell me about Frank's work?
This is Frank Turner. This is taken at the Williamsburg, the Music Hall of Williamsburg, about 2013, I think this one. Frank Turner is an Englishman. He came from like a hardcore band called Million Dead, kind of like a post-hardcore band. And he went off in a similar direction that people like Chuck Reagan from Hot Water Music and people like that have done, where it keeps the spirit of the punk and the hardcore, but it's more in like an acoustic style, but absolutely tremendous band. Is a band called the Sleeping Souls. And here in America, they're getting pretty decent size. You do the Beacon Theater, places like that. Over in the UK,
in the Beacon?
Over the UK, these guys sold out Wembley on their own. He's just getting bigger and bigger. He doesn't stay with one style. Like, you know, he's done a straight up acoustic records and he's got more experimental, but he comes from, like, he just did a split with No FX where they did 3 of his songs and he did 3 of their songs. And he's just a really great songwriter, and he's really not afraid to kind of like do whatever he's feeling, despite what people might think. But just a great live show. Whenever he plays New York, it's always like 3 nights at Webster Hall or 3 nights in Williamsburg. He's got a great following and just a really, really good band. You know, like his band is really tremendous.
Of course, he does great in Williamsburg. You know, all your hipster friends are out there. They go flock to go see him. You know?
They flock for the flan.
They flock. I'm here. I'm flocking. Hello.
You're flocking crazy.
What are you flock? Hey, that's the key. Okay. Today's secret word is flock. Okay? Flock.
Flock and roll.
Flock however you want. Flock and roll. Hey, Flocko, what's happening? Today's word is flock. All right. Flock of seagulls. Flock of your boys. All right. No. All right. Okay. Flock off.
Flock me. Flock you.
Flock you. All right. Hey, all right. Things are getting out of control. Hey, good one, dude. I got to check out this guy's work, you know?
Excellent. If you want to start.
Not that I have time. Dude, I don't even have time to wipe myself. I can't even. I'm so busy. I can't even wipe myself anymore. I haven't showered in months, man. You know?
Oh, man. I think Jesse is friendly with him, as a matter of
fact.
You
think? You think?
Yeah. I mean, if you like Jesse's stuff, you'll definitely like Frank's stuff.
What the flock? What the flock?
I think they travel in the same flock, actually.
You know what? Flock the world. Flock off and die.
Oh, no.
All right, man.
All right.
Hey, great. I know you're friends with the guys that are on today.
I'm very excited about this one.
Yeah, man.
We're reaching across the world.
Take my hand. Take my hand, bro. All right. All right. Steve has knowledge, man. No flocking clue who this flocking guy was. All right. All right. I'll see you in a bit. Woo. Yo, this is the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live Comedy Hour, brought to you by New York Hardcore Comics, The Organic Grill. Let me get these flocking banners off. Hold on. Let me get these banners off. Whoo, boy. Whoo. Listen, man, if we can't have a couple of laughs, then what's the point? Chain Reaction Records and Skateboards, the Texas Silver Rush, and Your Core fan page. New York Hardcore Comics opened back in 2013 when lifelong friends Debo the Pro and Lee Fraley combined their collections and obsessions for comic books, punk rock, toys and statues, magic, the gathering, and all things horror. The store is located at 117 Main Street at Dobbs Ferry, New York. If you want to support them during this pandemic, please contact them via email at newyorkhardcorecomics@gmail.com. Also, our friends at Chain Reaction Records and Skateboards. They're located in Lakewood, Colorado. It's the Rocky Mountain headquarters for all things punk, hardcore, and metal. Established in 2013, they have the largest selection of records, CDs, shirts, stickers, patches, and accessories between Chicago and LA. From the pit to the ditch, they've got your back. Get in touch with them at www.chainreactionrecords.com. That's what's up. Let me see. What else do I need to announce? I think we're good. Let me get my let's bring our guests on. Flock it up. Let's flock it up. Sit home and flock. Good one. Sit home and flock. Flock. Good one. Yep. There you go. Oh God. Enough. All right. Let me regain my composure. Hold on. I know what you're thinking. I gotta have that mug. There's a link down there for the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live merchandise. We got the New York Hardcore logo mug. Don't be smug by the mug. We got the shower curtain. We got the pillow. Someone earlier said they need the pillow to prop his yo. Listen, you need a pillow to prop your girl's ass up on. Maybe you're a gal out there. You need a pillow to prop your ass up on. Whatever. Listen, it's all good. I'm just glad you're here. All right, flock you, mother flocker. All right, Sid the Flockin' Kid. Flock and roll. Flock. Who the flock is that guy? That's a good one. All right, enough. Let's get it on. Let's clear the deck. Let's bring our guests on. Let's do what we do here. Enough with this flocking nonsense. Flock you flock and flock. All right, here we go. Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. Both our guests today are part of the worldwide hardcore community. First up, coming at us from Hong Kong, he's known for his work in Dagger and, of course, the first Chinese hardcore band, King Lai Chi. He also created UniteAsia.org, which is the go-to site for punk and hardcore in Asia. Our other guest is coming at us from Beijing, China, where he is the singer in Unregenerate Blood, as well as the force behind the China Hardcore Festival, which is heading into its 9th year. Please welcome our hardcore brothers coming at us from China and from Hong Kong, Leo and Riz Faruqi. Here we go. What's up, guys?
What up, Drew?
What's up, man? Cool. How you guys doing?
Cold, man. It's cold out here in Hong Kong. I don't know why you got that cold.
Cold in Beijing.
Cold in Beijing. Yo, it's cold in New York, man. It's cold in New York. So let's start with this. Let's listen. And I forgot to say this before I brought you guys on, and I just want to put it out there. Yo, we don't get into politics on this show. We're not going to get into any of that kind of stuff. We're here for the music. That's the bond that unites us. And so we're not going to get into politics. It's not something we want to mess with here, man. Let's talk about music, and let's talk about our international brotherhood and sisterhood of hardcore. Riz, let me ask you first. Where did you come up? Where were you born? Where were you raised? And how did music come into your life?
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of people are probably looking at this and like, this dude is from Hong Kong. He doesn't look Chinese. I'm not Chinese. I was born in Pakistan because my family is from Pakistan, but my dad was already living in Hong Kong. So when I was born there, and then I was 2 months old when I lived when I was brought to Hong Kong. So I've been living here my whole life. So I speak Cantonese, I speak Mandarin, I speak Urdu, I speak English. But in terms of music,
What's that, Urdu? Urdu? Is that Urdu?
Yeah, Urdu is the language that we speak in Pakistan, like the main language.
Wow.
So I
Okay.
speak 4 languages.
My man.
Yeah. In terms of music, though, I mean, my parents were quite traditional Pakistani. They're Muslim, so they were quite strict in that regard. And my dad was a little nuts as dads will be. And I feel like I got hit a lot and all that stuff. And like music was my only escape, bro. It was like my only outlet. And so very young, I got into just heavy, like metal. Metal was like my first gateway into all of this heavier stuff, because I just needed something loud to just like kind of like knock my head as an escape from all the shit that I was dealing with at home and in Hong Kong and growing up. So that's my real way into heavy music was metal.
And Leo, how about you? How did you come up? Where were you raised, and how did music come into your life?
The first time I know the words like rock and roll, I think it's back in '94 from my classmate. It's a local heavy metal band.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, heavy metal is huge in Beijing. So many metal bands. And before that, I listened to some Hong Kong and Taiwan pop group.
How does and how did Leo, how did punk and hardcore, how did hardcore come into your world?
The first hardcore band I know, I think it's Sick of It All.
Woo!
But at the time, I don't know they are a hardcore band. I think they're punk. When I started in high school, we have some mixtapes about our English lessons, and we make it to the music tape so we can listen on the class. and my friend told me, oh, check this out, they're a punk. And at the time we have independent magazine about punk. At the time, I think it's 97. And the first time I listened to Sick of It All and Misfits and The Clash and Sex Pistols and Ramones.
Yeah, man.
That's my first touch of punk and hardcore.
And Riz, how about you? I mean, I think how did the hardcore thing come into your orbit, and how did you get started? And I know that you got King Lai Chi together, which is really the first Chinese hardcore band, right?
Yeah.
So tell us about tell us about the hardcore thing, and what like inspired you to start a band.
Sure. I mean, for me, like I was telling you earlier, like I got into metal, and metal was like my big thing because it was just the music. That's all I cared about when I was growing up as a kid, was just the music. I wanted it to be loud and just obnoxious and drums. And then when I first got into high school, because I went to an international school in Hong Kong with American kids, it was an American international school. So every summer, those dudes would go home and bring a bunch of music back. And I was a skateboarder back then. And so when I was skateboarding, like late 80s or early 90s, in skateboarding, punk rock was a big thing. So they would bring back like a lot of punk rock stuff for me to hear. And two of the records that they brought back, it was on CDs back then, was Bad Religion and Sick of It All, Blood, Sweat, No Tears. And so that was in like 9th grade or whatever it is. But even then, when I first heard both of those bands, it wasn't like I was like, oh my God, my life was changed. It wasn't that at all, because I think in hardcore and punk rock, the beauty of it is when you see it live. Like when you see it in your face, you're like, what the fuck is this? And that what the fuck moment was the very first time I moved to the US in '94 to go to UMass Amherst, University of Massachusetts. So a dude from Hong Kong, from these gigantic tall buildings, to the small ass town called Amherst in Western Massachusetts.
Wow.
And the first show I went to was Black Train Jacket, Sick of It All. And bro, I mean, I'm sure, I know I've watched almost all your shows and everyone talks about a life-changing moment. But when I saw Sick of It All that night in a small place called Pearl Street, and it was like the stage was like a foot high. And I had just seen these guys on the back of a CD in Hong Kong like months ago. And I'm sitting there like, holy shit, there's Lou. And I'm literally, the microphone is here, his head is there, and I'm right next to him. I'm like, I just saw this guy on the back of a CD like a few months ago. And it was just so like mind blowing that I could stand this close to hardcore.
Pearl Street.
And like,
that's what Nikki says. It was Pearl Street, Northampton, Pearl
Street. That's right.
Yeah. Yep.
That's right. Northampton. That's right. That's right. And it was just like that night, man. I left that night going, what did I just experience? This is so different from what I had in my head about metal. Because in Hong Kong, bands never came through Hong Kong in the late 80s or early 90s. All we had were VHS tapes. So all I knew was like Anthrax and Iron Maiden. So I was like, oh yeah, you know, when I see Sick of It All, they're going to be on a big stage like Iron Maiden. And there's going to be like a big mascot coming out. But no, dude, it was just like 4 dudes on stage, and everybody was on stage screaming along. Like Lou didn't even have to hold a microphone. All of that entire experience was such a mind fuck for me. From then on, I was hooked on punk rock and hardcore. I wanted to know everything about it.
So when you went back home to Hong Kong, is that when you decided I want to start a band?
Yeah, I mean, prior to coming back to Hong Kong, I was already in bands in Hong Kong when I was growing up. 'Cause I've been playing guitar since I was like 9 or 10 years old. So, but it wasn't like a serious band. There's like no future in music in Hong Kong. Still to this day, there's no future in music. So people don't really do it for, you know, that seriously. So prior to going to the States, I had like this, you know, school band, and we play like the coffee houses or whatever. Then when I went to the States, I started a punk band, and we played a couple shows. We played in the Middle East. We played at ABC No Rio in New York City.
What was the name?
Crazy.
What band was that?
It was a punk band called Just About Done. And we did a couple, you know, we played quite a bit in the States, but I mean, it was a small band. No one really knew. But when I came back to Hong Kong, which you're leading to, is I came back to Hong Kong in '99, and I've been away from the music scene in Hong Kong that entire time I was in the States. So I didn't know what Hong Kong was all about when I came back. So I came back, I was like, all right, let's see what hardcore is all about in Hong Kong. And then my friend of mine was like, yeah, this hardcore band, you got to come check it out. I was like, stoked. I go up to watch this hardcore band, so-called hardcore band. And the dude was in like, in dreads, in like braids, because Korn and Limp Bizkit had just exploded in Hong Kong. And there's the guy DJing on stage, the guy rapping on stage. I was like, what the fuck? I was so confused. Because in the US, dude, like you guys in punk rock and hardcore are so big. It's so all encompassing that when you're in hardcore in the US, you don't know what's going on in the mainstream. And that's what happened to me when I was in hardcore and punk rock in the US. I was so knee deep in it. I had never even heard Korn before until I came to Hong Kong. And when I was watching these guys, I was like, what are they talking about? And that inspired me to be like, dude, I need to start a hardcore band in Hong Kong. And so, because I wanted people to be able to hear and feel hardcore with their own eyes, just like the same experience that I had when I watched Sick of It All in '94, I wanted to give that experience to people here in Hong Kong. So I started the band King Lai Chi with that intent.
And I'm sorry, what year was that again?
That was 1999.
Right. And so I know. So when you first started playing, did you just have the ability to play in Hong Kong, or could you get out and play anywhere else, or was it just, could you travel? I mean, can you guys go places and play?
That's a great question. Yeah, I mean, with King Lai Chi, when I started the band, I knew immediately, because I'd already been friends with people in the Philippines and Malaysia and Singapore and Indonesia. that I knew that immediately when the band started, like not only was the main focus going to be Hong Kong and mainland China, I just knew that regionally that I was going to be able to fly to all these places. I mean, right away, after King Lai Chi started, the first show outside of Hong Kong was in Guangzhou in '99, and then we went up and toured China in 2000. So, and then we just started hitting the road right away.
And traveling back then, I mean, were there little pockets of kids that would come out to see you play? I mean, of course there were, right? You guys are touring, but like, were there little hardcore scenes in all these little towns in China?
Actually, in China, there was no hardcore scene at all. I mean, back then it was either you were either metal or you were punk rock. And the metal guys didn't think we were heavy enough, and the punk rock guys didn't think we were punk enough. You know what I mean? Like, it was like all the stuff that you guys dealt with in the 80s is what we were dealing with then, you know, in 99 and the early 2000s. Like, we had to explain to people what hardcore meant, and they're like, how come you don't rap? Where's your DJ? How come you don't have any vinyl scratching going on? And I'm like, oh my God, dude, let me, now I have to re-explain. I would be like, here, check out this band called Sick of It All, check out this band called Snapcase. And what I noticed, Drew, early on was that it was the language was a big issue. Like a lot of people in Hong Kong, English wasn't their main language. So I started a bilingual zine called Start From Scratch, Yoling Kaisher. And so I started that zine with the idea of translating all my interviews, all the articles about the ethos behind punk rock and hardcore into Chinese. So it was more accessible by people here in Hong Kong and up in China. And that was like, it was like a big package. It was like a big educational thing.
Is this Dagger or King Lai Chi?
That's King Lai Chi, my boy Rich, who just jumped up in the comments when we toured US in 2016 when Sick of It All brought us out. A guy named Chris from In Effect zine. Have you heard of that, Drew? In Effect website? Yeah.
Come on, bro.
Chris is the man. He's the best. He's the best.
Yeah.
So when he found out we were coming out, he gave me like, I don't know, man. Like he gave me just the entire website basically. And I did an interview and it was so long. And so Chris hooked us up. He's just like, go nuts, man. Tell the whole world about King Lai Chi. Tell the whole world about what you're all about, because he's so connected to international hardcore. And then before I showed up, right before King Lai Chi showed up, he's like, hey, I've got a friend named Rich. There he is. Right there is Rich. He said, Rich is a great photographer, and he wants to take photos of you guys when you get there.
That's a Rich.
Rich Zoller.
Photo? That's our boy, man.
Yeah, Rich.
That's our
dude,
boy.
Rich, oh my God, he was the man. He drove us around Brooklyn, New York City, everywhere. Like, I mean, I'd been in New York before, but the rest of my guys had never been, and they were blown away. And we're like, I can't believe we're in New York City. We're getting photos taken by Rich, and like, dude, it was the best ever. Thank you, Rich. Thank you, Chris. Amazing.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, Leo, let me ask you. So I guess, you know, Riz is a couple years older than you. He's sort of like the generation in front of you. He pretty much kind of paved the way with King Lai Chi. What inspired you, Leo, to put a hardcore band together, and what were those early moments for you?
I would say King Lai Chi is my first knowing of China hardcore. You know, Riz, I missed your shows in Beijing back in 2000. I was in university, and you know, I think some members of Reflector or Brain Failure, they pasted the flyer in my school, and my friend told me, oh, let's go check out this band. It's like the king of the fruit, King Lai Chi. So, what's a weird name?
It's definitely a weird name.
I was drunk at the time when they play. So my bass player go to her first show in Beijing, and
go on.
I think the first mainline China hardcore band is
Watch your mic, man. Watch your mic.
Is it's called Shit Dog from Wuhan. This sounds like
I remember that
early youth of today. After that, me and my friends we started our first band called the Last Chance of Youth. We play some
last chance of youth.
Yeah,
I love it, bro. I love it.
Yeah. We play some old school hardcore, very short and fast song. After that, I started Unregenerate Blood in 2005.
And this Oh, here's a shout out from our friend Hoya from Madball. Shout out to my Chinese hardcore family representing. I can't wait to go out there and make some noise with you all. So, my man Hoya.
Drew,
man.
Drew, you don't understand, man. For us to be on this show right now and people like Hoya popping up and saying what's up to us,
Yeah.
like, I'm getting tears in my eyes, my friend. This is like such a crazy recognition of all the work and time we put into building hardcore out here in Asia, man. Thank you so much.
Well, it's my pleasure, honestly, and I mean it. It's my pleasure, and it's what I love doing, and it's my life. So, you know, and this is the community that we've built worldwide. So there's room, there's room for everybody on the boat. Tom M says saw Unregenerate Blood at the Mao Live House
Wow.
in Beijing a few years ago. We were excited and so surprised to see hardcore shows happening while we were on holiday in China from the UK. Awesome band. Do you remember that, Leo?
Yeah, I think I know Tom. I think I met him at Mao Live House.
I got a great photo. Oh, I love this photo right here, man. This photo I love, and I'll tell you why. Like this photo here, right? I love this photo. It like at first glance, I'm like, it reminds me of like CBGBs. It looks like you're playing CBGBs here, seriously. And you look around and you see, you know, the posters and flyers on the walls in Chinese, and you just see the look on everyone's faces. It's like, yo, it's universal, man. You know what I mean? It's universal. This could be CBGBs. You know, where is this?
The venue called School Bar.
Okay, in Beijing.
Yeah, in Beijing. King Lechi also play here. For once, right?
I think that was the last show we played in Beijing.
Yeah, 2016, right?
Yeah. It's Drew's a small space. It's so small,
Yeah,
and like
no stage.
No stage.
No stage.
I love the one dude. Like you see him on the top left with the Smith shirt on, like the one white boy, the one white boy in the mix with the Smith shirt, who kind of walks. Huh?
This guy is a guitar player of a local skinhead band called Shaven Shot.
Awesome. That's awesome, man. Yeah, like Popeyes, right? Yeah. Wait. What did I just say? Yeah, like that place Popeyes we have in upstate New York. It's a closet, man. Here's a question. Here's an interesting question from our man Lenny from Crazy Eddie. He says, how are tattoos viewed outside of the hardcore culture in China? Like, how do your tattoos go over in China, Leo?
It's normal. So many people have tattoos. Yeah, so many people have tattoos right here.
Okay, that's good. Yep. What else? So you get Leo, you get this thing rolling, and do you guys go out and tour? Do you get in a van and play around China? How does that work for you?
The first time we played outside Beijing was in 2013 in Guangzhou and Shenzhen. After that, we go to Hong Kong, play with King Lechi and Sick of It All.
Oh, you played that show?
Yeah, that's the best time in my life.
There you go.
I always remember. You know, one night I just got home and I received a message from Riz. Hey, do you guys want to come to Hong Kong and play with Sick of It All? And I was, what? My wife asked me, hey, what happened? Who sent you a message? I said, Riz, you invite us to go to Hong Kong and play with Sick of It All. You know, surprise. I was like, oh my God.
That's exciting. How far is it from Beijing to Hong Kong? Do you just get in a van and just drive it? Is it easy?
Fly?
Oh, you have to fly.
Yeah, fly 3 hours.
You can't drive it?
6, bro.
No.
6 hours.
No.
No way.
Is it
No way.
impossible to drive? Can it be done, or it's just too much of a hassle?
No, never think about it. Drive to Hong Kong.
No.
Yeah, I mean, you could drive. I mean, there's highways all the way down, but then why would you do that, man? Flights are so cheap. It's like going from Boston to like Miami or something. Like that's how far
Oh, I
of
see.
a trip
Oh,
it
I
would be.
see.
Yeah,
All right, I got it. China's a
Yeah.
big place, right?
Yeah.
huge, huge.
I hope, man. I hope someday I can go to China, man. I just to see the country. It looks parts of it look so beautiful, man. You know. What's going on here, Leo? Is this on the way? What's going on here?
Oh, it's in Korea last year.
Oh, you guys went to Korea.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, Drew.
What
I
was
mean,
it
that's
like?
the beauty about living in Asia is that Asia is kind of like at least Hong Kong is like the hub, and so we travel to like Manila, Philippines, Indonesia, Thailand, and just like for the weekend, it's the best. And then you're just like, if we're going for the weekend, I mean, I've been involved in hardcore in Asia for over 20 years, so I'm like, if I'm going for the weekend, let me just see what show I could put on. You know what I mean? And just get those contacts out. I'm like, hey, I'll be in Bangkok.
So you guys are in China. Once you're in China, you could just pretty much go wherever you want and play wherever you want.
Yeah. Almost every city has their own venue.
Cool.
And you can book shows.
Right on. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, when we toured China, like we would do like 2 weeks at a time, and literally, Drew, every night would be a different city in China, and there's that many venues and cities to play in. It's amazing. It's crazy.
And now at this point, is it can you go out and play shows and support you and support the tour by doing 2 weeks of shows? Is there enough of an audience out there in China to do it now?
Yeah, I mean, not for hardcore. I don't think there's any hardcore bands in China that can live off of the music, but other types of music for sure. Like post rock is huge, like shoegaze is huge, and there are bands that can play full time up in China. There's just that big of an audience. I mean, literally a small show. Leo could tell like a small show would be like 200 or 300 people.
Is that right?
It's crazy up in China. That's how many. Yeah, that's how many people show up. It's crazy. It's huge. It's huge.
So hardcore, Leo. So hardcore has really found an audience at this point in China.
Yeah, it's not that huge, but but it's healthy. The hardcore scene is healthy. Everybody knows everybody and support each other. Riz know this.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah. So Riz, tell us. Hey, you know what, Leo? I want to ask you before. So you started in Unregenerate Blood as the guitar player, and then you moved to the vocalist. Is that what happened?
It's hard to sing and play guitar.
I see. Yeah, I got it. So you were always the singer, and you also play guitar. Then you brought in another guitar player, and you're just the singer. I got it.
Yeah,
that makes sense. It's fun being the singer, right? Just for the singer.
Yeah.
Right? You take a whooping every time you play. Talk about Sick of It All, man. I see the beating that Lou from Sick of It All takes when they play. I have a lot of respect for that guy. I mean, when I sing an anecdote, I get trounced, man. And it can be tough, man. It can be tough, just sometimes you're just not in the mood to get the living crap kicked out of you, It's tough. So I want to ask you, Riz, about how and why did King Lai Chi, did it come to an end, and how and why did you start this band, which is Dagger? So how did one thing kind of end and another thing begin?
honestly, it was because of that last tour we did in the U.S. Like, it was kind of like that interview that you did with Brian. Remember you did that with Brian Outbreak, and he talked about
Yeah.
you know, the jujitsu stuff. And he was talking
Yep.
about like one of the last tours he had ever done was with Outbreak was Sick of It All.
Right.
And he's just like, I mean, what could we possibly do now? And for us, like as a band that started in Hong Kong in 1999, as someone that got into hardcore because of Sick of It All, they bring Sick of It All bringing us out to the U.S. so we could play Boston, so we could play D.C., so we could play Philly, and the last show was at Webster Hall in New York City. We came back from that tour, and I literally was like, by then we'd done the band for about 18, 19 years, and I was like, I don't know what else we could do right now. And so we came back and I had a huge meeting with the rest of the guys, and everyone was like, hey, man, if we're going to move forward, what we need to do is go back to the States every summer, right? So go back every summer because Sick of It All. Yeah, dude, that night was life-changing. That was life-affirming, actually. It was life-affirming. It was like 18 years of hell of trying to promote hardcore in a city that doesn't really care about it. Being on that stage, it was like, Hong Kong may not care about you guys. We here in New York care a lot about you guys. It meant a lot. So, I mean,
I
Dagger
was
really
there,
started.
I was
man.
there. I saw it, man. That was cool. It was
crazy. I mean, how many people were there? It was just insane because we were sitting upstairs in the dressing room upstairs, and next door to us, Jimmy G was there. The Street Dogs guys was there. I opened the door and Ezak walked in, and literally, I was like, my mouth dropped. I opened the door. And he was like, "Hey," I was like, "Oh shit, you're Ezak." It was such a night, dude. It was such a night. But the reason I started Dagger was just because it was kind of like, we were kind of like, okay, we don't know what we need to do. Let's just take a break from King Light G and just kind of refigure stuff out. And I've always been a guitarist. And so like with King Light G, I, just like Leo, started as a guitar player in King Light G and singing, and then moved into just singing. So by 2016, I'm like dying to play guitar again and play more metallic stuff that's a little bit more stuff that I grew up with. And so right about then were bands like Foundation and Incendiary. Those kind of bands were popping off, and really inspired me to be like, oh yeah, like, dude, that's the kind of stuff I forgot about was the 90s hardcore, like Snapcase and Strife and like Earth Crisis and more of that metallic sound. And that was the inspiration for Dagger, where King Light G had more of like a parameter set around it, like being a hardcore band. And then Dagger, I just wanted to be like, I wanted to play anything. If I wanted to add sludge, blast beats, whatever. And that's where Dagger came from.
And Ryan asks, how long was James Waters in the band Dagger?
Dude, Ryan Ake is an amazing band. I'm so sick that he's on here. James was in the band up until last year. So about 3 years, the first 3 years he was in the band. And we toured all over Asia, and he came with us. You know, when we went to Singapore, Malaysia, it was dope. Cool.
Hey, I need to, I'm going to shout out a couple of sponsors and do a couple of things. And then I'll bring you guys back on. We'll do record of the week with Sid the Kid, and we'll talk some more, okay? See you in a bit.
Okay.
All right, there you go. What's happening? It's the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. Get my paperwork here. It's the Global Unity Show. What do you know? We are sponsored by New York Hardcore Comics, The Organic Grill, the Texas Silver Rush, Chain Reaction Records and Skateboards, and Your Core Hardcore fan page. In the wake of the pandemic, Your Core Chris created Your Core fan page. Utilizing lessons learned from over 20 years of being an educator and social worker, he decided to try to reach where hardcore, punk, and the surrounding genre of bands create not only their music, but their message. The interviews are from a psychological perspective to harvest motivation, personal insight, and perspective. Please reach out to them on Facebook or Instagram if you have content to share or if you want to promote your band. Your Core Hardcore fan page. Also, while we're at it, our boy Joe Ramini at the Texas Silver Rush. It's a jewelry design firm and boutique store located in the birthplace of the Texas country music scene in Fredericksburg, Texas. They specialize in working with all musicians in all music genres to design and create unique one-off pieces, as well as to style them for stage, album covers, promo photos, and social media exposure. The client list includes Rock and Roll Hall of Famers Greg Rolle, Ringo Starr, and of course, Agnostic Front. During this current pandemic, all information and online sales are being taken at their Facebook and Instagram pages, and of course, www.texassilverrush.com. Want to mention a few other things while we are at it. Where's my next 4 shows? Hold on a second, kids. Next 4 shows coming up. Where? Oh, here we go. I'm sorry. Here we go. Let me clear the deck a little bit here. Coming up on the show on Wednesday, January 6th, we have Jesse Leach from Kill Switch Engage. Sunday, January 10th, Joe Affey from Maximum Penalty. Wednesday, January 13th, NYHC OG, the creator of the New York hardcore symbol and singer in The Abused. Another rare interview, a guy that's not on social media, just like the Keith Burkhardt Cause for Alarm interview. Listen, they come on our show, and this is another one of those instances. Kevin Crowley from The Abused, and then after that, that's right, we got Scott Vogel from Terror coming on. So those are going to be some dope shows, and hope you can make it. Also, I want to mention a couple other things. What else? I know I made the 100th show is going to be announced on the next show. The next show this Wednesday is the holiday show. I will be announcing the 100th show, who the guest is on the 100th show. And like I said, I wanted to have somebody on the show that that really connects with this and that's really a part of this. Somebody special. Yeah, we could have got some crazy big marquee name, but I wanted a real New York hardcore guy on this show and for the 100th episode. And I will be announcing that on the next show. Also, I want to mention, for those that may not know, I've said it before, I feel like I have to do it more often. My Instagram, to follow the show on Instagram, it's at Stone Films NYC. And I like to hear from you. I hear from people all the time. Don't be shy. I know there's a lot of lurkers out there. Feel free to reach out anytime about anything. That's what this is about. So feel free so I could bitch, about, look, the people won't leave me alone. Also, you know what I got to ask? What are you sick of about this show? Is there anything that I don't want to hear it anymore? Like, if I got to hear Drew talk about, is there anything that you're like, enough already? Help me help you. Like, if I got to hear Drew Stone tell that story again about, show that picture with him and Eric B. and Rakim one more time, is there anything you're just sick of? All right. There is a Patreon page. I know a lot of people out there are wondering how they can support this show. There is a Patreon page. There it is, Patreon page and a PayPal page. There you go. I want to shout out a couple of my new patrons, people that have actually come out of the shadows and supported the show. Brian Ramsey, Keith, aka Cheetah Thunders on YouTube, Pavel Ola, Rick Bailey, and also Joseph Shortino, who jumped on board today. So thank you all for supporting the show. Please, that's what makes this show happen, is your support. There's also a subscription. There's a subscription button right there. Subscribe to the show. Follow me on Instagram. The Patreon is a community within the community. I release all kinds of never before seen content on there, and we do special Patreon shows, like 10-minute shows, 15-minute shows with a lot of the guests that have been on here. We talk about our upcoming shows. I just put a film on there called Into the Pit, only exclusively available on there. Go check it out. So yeah, that's the Patreon page. So all right, what's going on? Let me see. Tell them to like this on YouTube as well, as it helps. Yeah, subscribe to the YouTube page as well, please. It's a fantastic show. Let me think. Let me see. I'm sick of it all. Okay. Devo. Everybody's sick of the Devo story? Nobody wants to hear the Devo story? Nope. Love the show. Sorry. Show the pic again. Thank you. Enough with the flan. Yeah, I know, right? I'm sick of sweatpants and combat boots. Yo, I got to bring that look back, man. That was an old 1981 Boston skinhead look. We used to rock sweatpants and combat boots. I got to bring that back. And Ditto from Major Conflict used to rock sweatpants too. All the shows are dope. All right, so nobody's sick of anything. You're not sorry. All right. I just, I get sick of myself. So, Sid's Madball shirt. All right. More video clips. The thing about the video clips about the show that's difficult is that when I put video clips on, they get flagged by YouTube. And then it disrupts the whole show. So I have to be careful about what I put up on the show. It gets flagged, it creates a problem. So I got to be careful with the video stuff. Oh, Brian, what's up? I'm just going to point out that it's like 4 a.m. Monday morning in Beijing, Hong Kong, where Lee and Riz are. You all got to go to work in a couple hours. Damn. Okay. Yeah. Yep. Pretty much so. Have Sid wash his laundry on air. All right. Everybody's a comedian with Sid's. You hear this, Sid?
Yeah, I hear it. So I purposely now will not wear the shirt just to piss them all off.
You know what? I'm kind of impartial to the shirt. I kind of want to see the shirt again.
I don't know. Like, look, this shirt I think is even better.
That's kind of great.
Hey, that's what I think about it. But you know what? It is what it is.
Go. How about that? How about an old? This is a 1995 vintage shirt. It was brand new. I don't want to mention names, but I was dating the girl who's on the shirt, and she's like, we were talking about, yeah, right. It's not good to, yeah. Don't. Yeah. She gets so pissed off at me.
Air out that laundry, Drew.
I know, right? God, I know, right? Sorry.
It's all good.
Moving on. Let's talk about record of the day, record of the week.
Oh yeah,
record of the week. Damn, again with these guys. Jeez,
Apparently it's a thing today, Drew. Oh wait, Drew, you forgot my little ticker thingy.
Just relax, bro.
Hey, you bust my chops, I bust yours.
No, I mean I only have I only have one hand.
No,
I only have one hand.
Let's have to check. People have
unless I put this, it's like
and then this and this and I don't know.
Relax there, Skipper. What does Carlos say? Well, the show is interesting. It's like a little look into what hardcore music is about for people that don't know about it with good guests. Oh, very good, Carlo. It's a good analogy of what the show's about. All right, so let's clear the deck here. Let's I got to get rid of some of this stuff.
Yeah, you do.
It's all Where is my Instagram thing? Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of this. Let me see what these comments are. All right, here we go. Album of the week, right? Here we go. Album of the week. Oh, more Sick of It All. Listen, welcome to the Sick of It All show.
I mean, it was a theme today, Drew, but I didn't think they were going to go into the band until I realized, oh, damn, I picked this record and I keep talking about it.
God. All right, get on with it.
All right, guys. Well, today is one of those albums, you know, we all know what this record is. And if you don't know it, this is the Sick of It All's first album entitled Blood, Sweat, and No Tears. It was released in, I believe, actually July 12th of 89, but they recorded this in late 88, early 89 at Normandy Sounds in Warren, Rhode Island. You know, it's one of those records that you don't necessarily we have to go on about it. If you know this record, you know it. I mean, for one example, actually half the album itself is basically the earlier material from the 7-inch, which was re-recorded for this album. But it definitely gives it like that harder edge. When you listen to the 7-inch and this, it's really night and day. And in itself is an amazing record. And who cannot forget on the second track when KR1 basically busts out, does his thing. And, it just sets off the entire record from beginning to end. The photography itself, all those live shots were taking, I believe, BJ Pappas had a lot to do with some of those live shots as well. I believe also Dave and Zach Muller and Tim Boiling Point were also, contributed to some of the photography, for the front of this record. And I know, and a lot of it was from a lot of those CB shows, I believe in 88. I was at a couple of these shows, and it's just like getting it for the first time. I believe, when it did come out and I finally got my hands on it, it was just like, it just fucking hit like so hard. It's such an amazing record.
Right on. And also, hold on, there's the there's the back cover too. But you know what? Let's bring our guests on and let's hear what they what their take on it is a little bit. Hold on, let me clear these banners. And things are moving slow today.
Yeah. I mean, I believe, I definitely do believe, Upstate Rick said it was a game changer. I mean, this was one of the few albums, in the late 80s, it kind of really started to just kind of build up to like what albums would be like within the next few years, going afterwards.
Sick of It All is one of the all-time greatest New York hardcore bands. Let's bring on Riz and Leo again. Hey, Riz, did this particular record resonate for you at all?
Yeah, I mean, this is my introduction to them in high school. Like that's one of the records that my friends would bring back from the States was Bad Religion. It was Bad Religion, No Control, and Sick of It All, Blood, Sweat, and No Tears. And both those records was the first time I'd actually read lyrics that resonated with me, that I could actually connect to. And I was like, oh, I had no idea that you could connect the lyrics, because by that time I was only reading lyrics by like Slayer and like Megadeth and like Anthrax and stuff. I mean, stuff like it's just like metal and like metal type of lyrics. But here were bands like Sick of It All and Bad Religion singing about real life stuff. It was the very first time I started reading about lyrics about racism, because I mean, me being Pakistani, growing up in a society like in Hong Kong, there was just a lot of stuff that I was dealing with. And this was, I mean, it was such a, like someone said, I think Upstate Rick was saying, it was a game changer. It was a 100% a game changer for me. But seeing them live in '94 was the thing that sealed the deal for me.
Absolutely. How about you, Leo? Does this resonate with you at all?
I don't know this album. When I first listened to Sick of It All, I just listened to the song called My Life, and I love it. I love the lyrics. And my band covered this song on this year's China Hardcore Festival.
Ah. Yeah,
also, the logo on the front, this logo is amazing. That old Sick of It All logo is so great.
For me, I'm a little bit older than you guys, and I sort of was I was kind of late to get into Sick of It All, being from an earlier generation, being around for the first wave of the whole thing. When Sick of It All came around, I knew who they were. I was on to other things. It was only later that when I kind of circled back, when I was working with Biohazard and Biohazard was on tour with Sick of It All, and I started seeing them live. They were incredible live. And then I kind of circled back to all this stuff. And of course now, I'm a big Sick of It All fan now. You know, I directed the Road Less Traveled video, and yeah, I can't say. I mean, Sick of It All is the pride of one of the premier New York hardcore bands. You know, they really wave the New York hardcore flag hard, and I'm big fans now. You know, the Sick of It All is incredible. So yeah, man. So that said, what else, Sid? You got a show coming up, right?
Actually, I'm now seeing it a lot earlier than expected, but it's such a big deal that even I can't wait to announce it. Like, it's that big.
All right, here you go, Sid. Spin your wheels.
There you go, guys. So as you can see, obviously Drew had Jimmy on, prior, but it was only fitting for the end of the year for me to get him. And trust me, it was a bit of a pain to get him. I love Jimmy, but Jimmy's a busy guy himself, working on the new Murphy's Law records, which we'll be talking about on the show. This is going to be next Wednesday night, December 30th, 7 p.m. New York time. If you guys can tune in wherever around the world, all the info is down there. Like I say, if you have a MixLR, it's available on Android and iOS, or you could just go on the MixLR website, mixlr.com/SDK sound system, and you can listen to it. Guaranteed. Jimmy always has something awesome and funny to say, so it's definitely going to be, I think, one of the best shows I've ever done so far. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Listen, man, we're happy that you're doing things, man. We're happy that you're parlaying your now that you're a big star, because from this show.
Stop.
Now that you're a big star, we're happy that you're parlaying it and doing big things, bro. I mean that.
True. It only took me 25 years to finally hit it big. So,
Listen, man, anything. I'm glad, and I mean that. I'm glad you're taking a little bit of the oomph from this show and making something happen on your own. I'm happy for that.
I really would. I mean, it would be more awesome just to see, like, have people watching the show or even listening to this start a band, write a book, photography, like do something a little more. I'm not saying positive. Just do something that that you're going to contribute, but it makes you feel good about yourself. But it also makes other people happy. Like it just resonates.
All right, let's not get carried away, bro.
Hey, I just had to throw my 2 cents in.
Yeah, let's not this isn't what is this? The summer of love, bro?
No, but it is Shout Out Sunday though.
Oh, you know what? It is Shout Out Sunday, and I want to say this, Rogello. Listen. We do the super chat thing. If somebody has a question, like a real burning desire question, and they want to spend $1 or $2, do the super chat thing. I can't miss it. Sometimes I miss the questions. Rogelio, you got a question? Put it up, man. Come on. Thanks for the couple of bucks, but you got a question? Put it up. Or you just contributing. That's great. Sid, hey, listen, we'll talk to you a little bit later, all right?
Hey, what are my shout out? I didn't get a shout out? Come on now.
Oh, it's Shout Out Sunday. And Go ahead.
Humongous shout out to the one and only Lord Isaac. For those who don't know, it was his birthday yesterday. So if you're on the Instagram, hit him over there, wish him a happy birthday. Hey, Isaac, happy birthday, brother.
Is that it?
That's it, man. That's the one I had to throw out there.
Is that it?
Yeah.
All right, bro. I'll talk to you soon.
I have to start my show in about 5 o'clock, so I got to get my thing ready too. So
go get your thing ready, bro.
All right, later, guys.
All right, bye.
Peace.
Woo!
What a great guy. Right. Great guy.
All right. Yeah. Well, listen. Character. He's. It's all part of the. We have a saying around here. There's room on the boat for everyone. It's like, and that's one of the great things. That's one of the great things about this hardcore thing is that, everybody's welcome. And, I think that Leo, when I first saw that video, man, I was like, I love this, man. It just reminded me of that spirit, that true, doesn't matter where you are on this planet, man, It's hardcore. It's what binds us together, man. It's awesome, And
especially New York hardcore too. It's very interesting. But out of all the things that have come out of the States and like different types of hardcore, because there is, right, like the hardcore from Boston, West Coast. There's something about New York hardcore, man. I mean, that was like when I was a kid. It was bands like Sick of It All, and I know the band Biohazard. I mean, that Urban Discipline record to me was was also another game changer to me. It was huge because, again, lyrically, they just grabbed me so much. And I'm like, I can't believe shit like this exists. Why isn't this bigger than any of those 4 big thrash bands? You know what I mean?
You know, here's a great shot. I love this shot. You sent it to me. You got to tell me. You got to tell me about what's going on here. I love this shot, man. What's up with this?
Wow.
Oh my God, dude. Okay, so if we're gonna get into this, so Sick of It All on their 30-year anniversary, they invited us out to come and open those shows, and the reason why that happened was because I think it was 2012 or 2013. I got hit up by Armand or someone who was booking their Asian tour, and they're like, "Hey, Sick of It All wants to come out to Hong Kong." And dude, bro, I almost lost my mind. I was like, "What? They want to come out to Hong Kong?" And by that time, like my name, yeah, there it is. That was the very first show for Sick of It All in Hong Kong. And I put on that show, and I'm a promoter in Asia. I've got a lot of contacts all over Asia and stuff. And so I put on that show in Hong Kong, and like a lot of people probably say, is like when your favorite bands, your heroes, you're like, don't meet them because you might get disappointed or whatever. And so I was so nervous leading up to picking them up at the airport. I was like, dude, just be cool, please, just be cool. And when I met them at the airport, dude, they were the nicest people ever. And of course, I mean, I shouldn't have been surprised, but they knew so much about Hong Kong. They knew so much about Chinese history. Like, it was just like, they looked like they were like in a candy shop. Like, they were walking through Hong Kong. They're like, isn't this in that movie? Isn't that in that movie? Hey, take us to the harbor. Oh, dude, it was so rad. And so that kind of set up the friendship. And I booked their second Asian tour, the one after this. And on that tour, we were just joking around. And it was like, hey, how about you like you come and play?
What year was that?
The first one, this one in the picture is 2013, I believe. But the next tour must have been 2015. And like I booked it, and then King Lychee opened up the Asian tour. We went on with them to KL and all that stuff, Kuala Lumpur and Thailand and stuff. And on that tour, we're just joking around. Maybe, hey, maybe King Lychee can come out to the U.S. or whatever. And Lou and Armand were like, sure. And I'm like, what? They're like, yeah, we would definitely like you guys to come and open our 30-year anniversary. We're like, I literally told
guys are good like
them,
that.
I told them to record it. Yeah, and I told him, like, I held my phone up, and I think I made Armand record it into my phone. I was like, say it again. He's like, I am inviting King Lychee to open. It was hilarious, bro. And then, so this picture that you're showing here is from that experience where we arrived in New York City. We drove up to Boston to start the tour. And we drove up, took a Greyhound. Brian, the jiu-jitsu guy, he's from Hong Kong. It's a good friend of mine. He came with us on that road. He's like, yeah, I'll show you how to get to Boston or whatever. Got to, is it Penn Station? I think it's Penn Station, right? Where the Greyhound is. Took that up to Boston. And then Zach from Bain was there because I'd booked their shows in Hong Kong as well. So Zach from Bain showed up at the bus station with the band.
So whoa.
Sorry.
We're talking about Boston. Isn't this a DC guy?
Got it. Yes, we're getting there. And so on that same tour, like, we're like, hey, you know what? Fuck sleep. Let's go check this out. Let's go check that out. Let's go check that out. So after the Boston show, for example, we went to Bridge 9 Records. Then we went down to Philly. Then we got to DC, and we got to DC early. And I was like, let's just go to the DC house and see, let's just go check. Let's just take a photo, like the classic Minor Threat photo. So we drove down, and I didn't know that it was just like a typical small house. I had no idea, dude. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. And so we drove by like 100 times. I kept checking. I'm like, no, it's right here. Like, I couldn't find it. We finally found it, and I saw, like, we're standing at the gate. There's the steps. There's the door, and I'm like, oh my God, there it is. And I'm just talking about the steps, dude. Like, I'm not even going inside. I was just like, dude, there's the steps right there. Holy shit. And my guys were like, let's just go in. I'm like, dude, you can't just go into someone's house. People in America have guns. Dude, someone's going to show up and blow us away. So I snuck in. I opened the gate. I snuck out. I'm like, dude, let me just knock on the door and just say hello to whoever's in there and explain that we're from Hong Kong. We're not here to rob them. I knock on the door, and Ian opened the door.
Nice.
And I've never, literally, like, hands were shaking, my body was shaking. Like, I mean, this is a guy, I had no idea what straight edge was, and I've been straight edge my entire life. And because of Minor Threat, I learned those words, and I'm like, oh, that's what I am. I'm straight edge. And so he opened the door. He's like, what? And I'm like, I'm so sorry to bother you. We're a band from Hong Kong. We just want to be here and just take photos on the steps. We didn't know that you were here. He was like, oh, you're from Hong Kong? He's like, we played in Hong Kong. I'm like, I know, Fugazi played in Hong Kong. I was in the States when you played. And like, oh, dude, he was such a nice guy. He showed us around the whole place. He took us downstairs where Minor Threat wrote all their songs.
Yeah.
He's like, this is where we practice.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh my God, it was amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Lenny says, I wonder how many times a month Ian has to do that photo. But I remember being in the DC house. I remember being in the Discord house in 1982, 81 or 82,
Wow.
and being in the basement. With those guys were rehearsing down there, and the low ceiling, and that's where Minor Threat used to rehearse in the basement of the Discord house. Leo, let me ask you, tell us a little bit about the China Hardcore Fest, and how did you start that, and what's the history of it?
The festival start with I think that the idea come up with the King Lychee. Right, in 2012, when you guys toured in China, and I went to Wuhan to support them, and my friend band returned the truth with a guest. And after the show, we talked. It would be great if the 2 or 3 hardcore bands we can tour together in China. That would be great. But everybody has a job and busy. So how about put up a shows gathering all the hardcore bands all over China for a festival. So that's how the festival started. King Lychee toured on April 2012, and the first edition of China Hardcore Festival will start on September 2012. And after that, every year, every September or October, we organize the show.
That's fantastic. Have any American bands or any bands outside of China, have they ever played the festival?
Last year, the gigs from South Korea and Brave Out from Japan and Safe State from Switzerland.
Wow.
3 overseas bands play on China Hardcore Festival.
Man, I want to play.
Yeah, maybe the virus disappear, come to China.
Yeah, right.
We can make it.
Yeah, I want to come over and play in China, man. Those are 2 places that I want to play. I want to play in China. I want to play in Israel. It's like those are 2 places I really want to play. What's next? What's next for you, Leo, with the band? Musically, do you have any music coming out? And what's the next move for the band?
We are writing new songs right now. And I think we release a new EP on next year.
Okay.
Maybe spring or summer. Really, we have 4 new songs.
Wow.
Good. Listen, we got plenty of time. We all have plenty of time to write them, right? Joe Ackerman, our boy, down in Tallahassee, Florida. What's happening, Ack? Says, yo, Riz, love seeing King Lychee open for Sick of It All's 30th anniversary show at Webster Hall. Absolutely.
Yeah, man, that night. And what the funny part about that night is that we have a song called Lost in the World, and Lou sings in that song. And that entire tour, like, Lou would come out and sing his part. But at that show, like, right when his part was about to come, I turned around to look behind me to see if he was there. And I didn't see him. I was like, oh, okay. He's not going to come out for this one. That's all right. It's all good. You know what I mean? And so I started singing his part. Next thing I know, because he's so much taller than me, next thing I know, his arm reaches over and he starts singing. And I was like, oh, shit. Like, and there's a photo. Like, I forgot who took a photo. Like, I had fallen over because I was just so shocked that he was there. And after the set, I was like, dude, I didn't even know you were going to come out. He's like, I turned around and you weren't there. He's like, oh, I went down to tie my shoelaces.
Right on. let me see what else I got here. Let me see. I got this Leo one here. This looks like a recent photo, right, Leo?
Yeah. This year, this summer.
Right on. And this is this in China? I guess so, right? Where else? Right? Let me think. Do you I think we got it. You know, let's take a quick break and we'll come back and we'll take questions from around the world. Okay. Let me shout out a couple more sponsors and we'll come right back and we'll do some questions. All right. All right, here you go. It's the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live, and we are sponsored by New York Hardcore Comics, The Organic Grill, the Texas Silver Rush, Chain Reaction Records and Skateboards, and Your Core Hardcore fan page. Want to shout out our boys, Warren and everybody over at Pitchfork. We love those guys. We want to shout out Zum and Steve Friette at Friette Amplification. That said, got to talk about Vlad and Organic Grill. Organic Grill is a vegan restaurant located in the East Village of New York City at 123 First Avenue. Featured in New York Magazine, the New York Times, and Veg News. Their dishes have won numerous awards, including Best Veggie Burger. They make their own cheeses, sausages, and burger patties, and every dish on the menu could be made gluten-free. This year, they're celebrating their 20th anniversary, and they're all about having a great time while enjoying amazing, clean food. After 3 months of being closed, they're now open for deliveries. Get in touch with them and order some great food at www.theorganicgrill.com. Just a reminder, I know I am preaching to the converted here, but I have to do it. It's a part of what makes this show tick. Is the Patreon page. There's also a PayPal page. If you cannot wrap your head around the statistical density or conceptual continuity of Patreon. That said, what else? Want to shout out all our homegirls. It is Shout Out Sunday in the Women of the Pit Facebook page. If you are a female of the species, go and join the page on Facebook. Also want to shout out the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live comments crew page that Upstate Rick got rolling. Go check that out. The 100th show will be announced. The guest is going to be announced soon on the next show. As a matter of fact, feel like I'm forgetting something. Let's get some questions together. Let's get some questions together for our guests. By the way, on the holiday show that's coming up, our next show, Kevin Egan from Beyond is going to be on. He just directed a documentary called What Awaits Us, a Beyond Story. Matt Wildcard Henderson from the Eulogy, formerly of Agnostic Front and Madball, is going to be on, as well as Jamie Sharappa from SSD Control. So those are some of the guests that are coming up. That said, let's clear the deck. What the heck? Let's bring on. Hey, Stephen Messina, I'm going to bring you back in a minute, just so you know. Ramp up your game, son. It's about to go down. It's coming down. That said, where is Chucky Brown? I don't know. Chucky Brown's not around today. It happens, you know? Hey, what's up, Rat Bones? What do you say, buddy? We'll see you on Wednesday. Let's bring back on our guests. Let's bring on Leo and Riz. And let's get Stephen Messina on here. What's up, bro?
How you doing?
Good. Hey, Stephen, how did you get turned on to these guys? Because I know you waved the flag hard for these guys and were a big proponent of getting them on the show.
I got turned on to Unregenerate through a guy we affectionately call Machine Gun Mike Meehan. He is a fellow former railroad guy who, when I met him, in fact, it's interesting. We met on the railroad, and our boss at the time was Steve Psycho, the original singer from the Psychos, another railroad guy. And Mike is a total tattooed skinhead, and we immediately hit it off. And Mike left the job and became a mercenary, and then he went over to Beijing to pursue whatever employment he was working, and started contacting me, telling me about this amazing hardcore scene over there. And he would always talk about this band, and he would like jump up, and he was kind of like a guest. Like, he would send me pictures of him singing, like grabbing the mic and singing a few songs with the band. And he sent me shirts, and he sent me the CD and everything. And they just like, always kept me up to date on what was going on. In fact, when he had suggested, oh, we should get them on the show. And then he, of course, said, oh, we should definitely, you should get Riz. And he is like the ambassador. He's like the liaison between New York hardcore and the whole like United Asia scene. Like, he loves you guys. Cool. And he's a true character. And I know if you know him, he's a gem, that guy.
Right on. Gary Olford. Gary Olford question. I presume everything is self-financed and organized, released. Is there any music industry support for what you do in China? Riz, why don't you take that first?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, I presume this person's talking about hardcore specifically, and hardcore, there is no support at all, man. People release stuff on their own. I mean, King Lai Chi, we've released like 3 albums and all the stuff, and we've always done it by ourselves. We've put our own money into it. I know that Leo's got a label going too, but even then, it's all bands releasing stuff themselves.
Yeah, Leo, you want to add anything to that? Is there any sort of support at all from record labels, or is it all is it all DIY?
It's all DIY. That's why I started my own label.
Cool. That makes sense. And for those out there want to check out Leo's label, it's realdealbeijing.bandcamp.com. Go check it out. There's a bunch of cool stuff up on Bandcamp. That's realdealbeijing.com. Got another one here. I know. Hold on. All right. I know you. Steven, is that you? You're out. It's your mic, bro. It's the mic.
I'm not wearing the mic.
Something is buzzing and feeding back.
It's the steel plate in my head.
From our friend Brian Kemsley, is the Mao House still open? I haven't been there in years.
The original Mao Live House has closed for years, but there is a new one. There's different bars, and the new Mao Live House. There are many shops all over China, in different cities.
I love it. Like, if this is China, like, you got to have a place called the Mao House, right? It's like that's like, you got to have it, man.
You can try to search the logo of the original Mao Live House on Google. That's interesting.
It's funny.
Yeah, it's funny. And I love the slogan on the old Mao Live House wall. Don't make stupid people famous.
That's great. Hey Riz, whatever happened to your old drummer's band Hardpack?
Wow. How does this person even know? Holy crap.
Listen, bro.
Well,
people that watch this show, man, they'll ask you about, the first time you ever kissed a girl, man, on this. You never know. So yeah, go ahead.
Well, I mean, King Lai Chi, went through a lot of members, man. Like, I mean, I was 18 years of that band, and I was a force. I was just like, no, I've got my vision. It's a hardcore band. We're going to continue to promote hardcore. So I just railroaded through band members. So one of them was this guy that played drums in Hong Kong's biggest, most popular hip hop hardcore kind of band called LMF. He was a drummer in that band. Then after he left King Lai Chi, he started a pop punk band called Hard Pack. He's now like a massive like vlogger in Hong Kong. He's so famous in Hong Kong. Good question.
Wow. That's great. Here's another one. This is from our man Chucky Brown, our resident historian. Riz, can you speak on the website Unite Asia? What was the impetus to starting it? It is an incredible site, man. I mean, that must keep you friggin' busy, bro. I mean, that is an incredible site, man.
Thanks so much, man. Chucky Brown is the man. I love how he comes up with all of these things, all of these little hidden things that he knows about. I don't know how he finds out about stuff, but Chucky Brown, I've been watching all the episodes, man. You're the man. Yeah, so I started a website called UniteAsia.org almost 6 years ago. And the reason I started is just because I just love music. I love learning about music. I love learning about what's going on with bands all over the world. And in 2015, it just came to a point where as soon as I woke up in the morning, I would always go to the same websites like Lamb Goat, Metal Injection, Metal Sucks, like all the big websites, because that was the first thing I would do, make myself a cup of coffee and then go read all the news. And after a while, I was like, how come I never hear about my bands from Kuala Lumpur, or bands from Singapore, or bands from Bangkok? Because, like I've been saying, I've toured over Asia for 20 plus years, and I know about all these great bands. And all these bands are like American level, international level. They're so great. And I was just like, why don't I know about these bands? And I was like, but it's because these Metal Sucks and Metal Injection, whatever, aren't in touch with our Asian community. And so far, as it often is for us hardcore kids, if you don't see it happening, you just make it happen yourself. That whole DIY culture, like I live and breathe it. So I was just sitting there. I'm like, you know what? I never see it. How about I just start my own website and just tap into all the contacts I know? And literally, it exploded. Like I did not know that there was such a need for this. And so it started with me, just my friends. So I would just WhatsApp them and be like, hey, what's going on with your band in Kuala Lumpur? Hit me up. What's going on in Jakarta? What's going on in Bandung? What's going on in Bangkok? What's going on in Chiang Mai? All over Asia with people that I know. And now 5 years later, like you're saying, it's like almost like a full-time job. I do have a full-time job. I'm a first grade teacher. So like at night, right? It's just like hours and hours. Yeah. I'm a first grade teacher. What up to Nancy Burrell? Her episode was so good. So good.
Where do you see Nancy Burrell?
So Unite Asia,
where do you see Nancy Burrell?
No, I'm just saying what's up. I'm just saying what's up.
Oh.
I don't know if she's watching or listening or in the comments at all, but to hear her story as an educator, I was like, dude, so great.
Yep.
So that's the website, UniteAsia.org.
Got it. Interesting. And I can answer this. He says, what was the hardcore scene in China like before the internet? There was no hardcore scene in China before the internet, right? I mean, that's pretty safe to say, right? I mean, there really wasn't anything. I mean, the internet is 20 years old now, right? So
yeah.
Well,
I mean, there was a punk rock and metal scene for sure. Punk rock has been there since the early 90s. Metal's been there since the 80s. You know what I mean? So cassettes and vinyl did get there. But you're right. Once the internet came around, that changed everything.
I mean, I think this is a sort of a, okay. They both mention, Pepe Bayon says, they both mention metal, that were they influenced by Japanese metal bands like Loudness? I mean, did that kind of metal, I mean, that's like hair metal, isn't it?
Yeah, hair metal.
Dude, Loudness was huge in Asia, huge. Go ahead, Leo,
really?
go ahead. Yeah.
Go ahead,
Yeah,
Leo.
I mean, one of the,
Loudness,
like I was saying
Leo,
earlier,
metal and any sort of influence?
Sorry?
Were bands like Japanese heavy metal bands any sort of an influence over there?
Oh, I do know more about the Japanese metal band.
So there you go. They really weren't. What about you? What about you, Riz?
Yeah, in Hong Kong, Loudness was big. I mean, that was one of the first concerts that came through Hong Kong when I was a kid. Because I was saying earlier, bands never come through Hong Kong.
Right.
So Loudness was a big band here.
That's cool. Riz once told a story on the old message board about kids in the Philippines at a show stage diving in slippers. I want to know more about that.
Oh my God, this is so awesome. Yeah, yeah. I mean, we've toured all over Asia since '99 is when we started leaving Hong Kong and started playing shows all over. And yeah, man. I mean, some of the earlier shows when we first got to the Philippines, or oh, bro, what that was another amazing moment. That was sick. So this photo was from Biohazard's first ever show in China, and like I was saying earlier, Urban Discipline to me was such a big record. When I found out that they were going up to China, I was like, I bought my plane ticket that night, flew up. I was just sending messages with Billy on Twitter, and then he was just like, "Hey, dude, you're flying up from Hong Kong?" I'm like, "Hell yeah!" I was like, "It's like a 6-hour flight or whatever." He's like, "Come backstage." I'm like, "What? Are you sure?" And he's like, "Yeah, come backstage." So I came backstage. He's like, "Hey, did you bring a King Lychee shirt anything?" I'm like, "Yeah." He put the King Lychee shirt on right away, got on stage and played with the King Lychee shirt on. I was like, dude, what is going on right now?
Yeah, Billy's a good dude, man.
Good
no,
dude,
I
man.
was
New York
not,
hardcore.
no, I wasn't. I was not on that tour. What year was that?
Oh, Leo, do you remember what year that was? I can't remember.
The year?
Yeah.
Of Biohazard?
2010.
2010?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I was out of the Biohazard camp by 1999 or 2000 was the last time I went out with them. That was it. My career with Biohazard ended in 1999 or 2000. That's not, we're on good terms, but that's when I stopped working with them, for them, and being out on the road. Yeah. Urban Discipline broke hardcore worldwide. Well, it's interesting you should say that, because many people will tell you that Urban Discipline's not a hardcore album, but depends on it depends on, I always thought that Biohazard, is really a crossover band. They have hardcore, they have metal, and they have two metal guys, two hardcore guys, and they really did a great job in combining the both of them. But listen, they're all labels. It's all music, right? That said, what else we got here? I don't want to get into anything like I don't want to get.
Oh wait, did I answer the guy about the slippers?
No, not really. You veered off on Billy. The stage diving with the slippers. Let's hear about that.
Yeah. So sorry. So once we started touring further south, like Southeast Asia, the weather there is there's just two weathers in just two seasons in Southeast Asia. It's either hot or rainy. They don't have winter at all. So people would show up in shows with slippers and stuff, and like slippers would be flying through the air when they're stage diving and stuff. Slippers hitting you in the face. I mean, it's the best. And like with Southeast Asia too, like it's, a lot of countries are not as well off as Hong Kong is. So when bands go down there and the kids just eat it all up, man, they love everything about it. So any band that gets down there, like there's just lines of people taking photos, asking them to sign everything, your shoe, your shirt, whatever it is. It's just such a beautiful scene. Anyone that's ever toured through Southeast Asia or Asia has always come back with just great stories. It's tiring. I'm not going to lie to you. It's grueling touring Asia because you're literally flying in to every city on your itinerary. So it's
all flying, huh? You got to fly everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. And then in Asia, like I think it's similar with Europe too. You check in 2 hours before the flight time. So you're getting up at like 4 a.m. to get to a 6 a.m. flight, get on the flight, arrive in your next city at 8 a.m. in the morning, and you are exhausted, right? And that's every day. Bands will do it for like a week or two. And like bands like Sick of It All, I've done it like 3 or 4 times. They're nuts. I mean, like my band King Lychee's done it like 5 or 6 times, but the payoff is so awesome when you see kids just losing their minds.
That's awesome. May is hell bent on asking this question. I want to ask Riz. I want to ask how Riz ended up at the Sick of It All tour in Europe. On the Sick of It All tour in Europe, the band weren't touring. Why didn't they just all come and play the shows? Well, it's not that easy, hon. But anyway, you can answer that.
So in 2013, when I brought Sick of It All to Hong Kong, and we just hit it off. Like, it was just so cool. And and then we exchanged like WhatsApp and stuff like that. So like after that, then on, like I would get messages from Armand or Craig. I mean, it's just like, dude, it's even talking about it right now is such a mind fuck. But we hit it off, and like a month in after they left, I was like, hey, I've got the summer off. I'm a teacher. Is there any way? I didn't think they were gonna say yes. I was like, is there any way I would come with you guys for maybe a week in Europe? And I thought they were gonna be like, oh hell no, dude, a week? That's crazy. With this random guy from Hong Kong, and they're all like, hell yeah, oh, man, we've got space on the bus. We do like this, like the big buses, and we have like 18 beds. You can take one of the beds and just hang out. And so that was my first time on one of those buses, and they took me through Europe on all the festivals. The first show they played on that was Hellfest, and Sick of It All played it. Like, God, dude, it was like 2 a.m. or something like that, and I was like, 2 a.m. Who was gonna come see them at 2 a.m.? And literally, when they got on stage, there was like, it looked like, I don't know, man, 20,000 people waiting for Sick of It All, and the place just went off.
A great one, yeah. Hellfest.
So that, and then I met May on that last date of that tour that I was in Germany, and she was so much fun. Another Muslim hardcore kid. What's up? It was fun.
Thomas Starkey says the Unregenerate Blood album is dope. It reminds me of beatdown style hardcore. I agree 100%. I love it, man. From the first time I saw that video, I was like, I love this. I got to get these guys on the show. I love Unregenerate Blood. That style of hardcore really speaks to me. Like I love it, man. And I love corny hardcore Unity songs.
Thank you.
I love it. Yeah, man. I love it, bro. I love your band, man. I hope someday you guys could come here and play, or I could come over there and play with you guys, man. That would be like, that mean a lot. Hey, Steven, you got anything for these guys? Any shout out? You got anything?
No, I'm just, this has been great, and I really appreciate you guys waking up at 4 a.m. over there to be here, and just hopefully get to see you again. Hopefully get to see both bands, whatever you're doing next, and bring it over here when we're allowed to do it again. As a teacher, you're teaching young kids. Do you, obviously first grade is pretty young, but does anyone do they know what you do otherwise?
Yeah,
that's a great question. So I teach 6-year-olds, and it's, as a teacher for 6-year-olds just love everything about their teacher, everything. And so like when I first got into it, I've been doing it for 17, 18 years now, but like when I first started teaching, the kids would be like, hey, I hear you play in a band. I'm like, yeah. And they're like, what's your band called? I'm like, oh, King Light G. And I didn't think of it. I wouldn't, just told them the name of the band. The next day they would come back and their faces were white. They're like, I checked out your band. I was like, what? You checked out my band on what? They're like, I YouTubed your band. I'm like, oh shit. I was like, oh, and they're like, oh, you said a bad word on stage. I was like, okay, Tom, go get your lunch. I'll talk to you about this later. And so since then, I never say my band's name.
That's funny.
That's awesome. Anybody want to shout out, Steven, as we head down the home stretch?
Nah, you know what? I made all my shout outs for the day already, and just shouting you guys out. Just glad you made it, and this has been really cool. Hopefully we get to do this again.
Hey, you know what? While Steven's on here, I want to mention this show that's coming up. Of course, Steven does all the flyers. Here's another one that he did. This is Sean Taggart, Wednesday, January 20th. Sean Taggart coming up on the show. He was originally in a band called Shock, an Old Day 7 band, but we know him as an artist. Of course, he did the Crumbsuckers record cover, and Agnostic Front Cause for Alarm and Get Loud and Jerky Boys and Prong and Whiplash. So we have the artist Sean Taggart coming on the show. I just wanted to make sure that that was out there. Hey, Steven, we'll see you in a bit, bro. Thank you, bro. Thank you for everything.
Great seeing you guys.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you, Steven. Thanks so much.
Let's see. Let me see. We got another one. Let me see if we got another one or two. I still have King Lai Chi's first album, Stand Strong, on CD with the black and red patch. How rare is it nowadays? Is that a rare release?
Yeah, that's the second album called Stand Strong, and that one was that album actually kind of set it all off, because that's the first album where our songs started having English and Chinese in every song. So we would put English and Chinese lyrics in every song, and that exploded because now suddenly people in Hong Kong and in China were able to understand the lyrics right away. They didn't have to go translate it. They didn't have to go figure out what it meant. They could just read the words. And in that album, I kind of at the bottom of every song, I explained what the song was about, and so that album was huge for us.
Riz, you sent me this picture. I didn't get a chance to put it up, but as we're heading out, I want to make sure. I gotta say that your vision sneaker game is on point here. I like this is pretty cool. Where is that? Is that Hong Kong?
No, that's not Hong Kong. That's actually in Pakistan. That's in Islamabad. So, like I said earlier, I was born in Pakistan, but I've never lived there. I've always lived in Hong Kong. But every summer, my parents would take us back to Pakistan to kind of hold on to our roots. And so I would show up with my skateboard, my Walkman, listening to Slayer or whatever, and try to convert Pakistani kids into this kind of music.
That's great, man. That's awesome. Let me think. Thomas asks, Hong Kong.
Sorry, go ahead.
Hong Kong uses. We're heading down the home stretch here. Hong Kong uses Cantonese and Beijing Mandarin. Which do you use for the song?
I use English.
Yeah, right. I love it, man. Yep.
King Lai Chi, actually, we did English and Cantonese for a long time, and then we switched to Mandarin for a bit and added Mandarin. So we did English, Cantonese, and Mandarin, and I was singing those three languages.
Cool. Hey, listen, I want to thank you guys for coming on the show. It was an honor and a pleasure. You are part of our worldwide hardcore brotherhood, and I wish you both all the best. Riz, let's start with you. Anybody you want to shout out on the way out the door?
Dude, I've got so many. I have a whole list of them.
All right, go ahead.
Because I was like, this is such a big moment for me. So first, Drew, I'm going to talk about my favorite Drew quotes because I watch your show all the time. You ready for this, Drew?
Oh, boy. Yeah.
Here we go. Favorite Drew quotes. You behaving yourselves in the chat room. I love that quote. There was that one time something was going on in the chat room and you were getting so mad.
I see it all, man. I see it all. At this point, I run the show. I'm watching the chat room. I'm looking at my phone. I'm drinking my thing. I'm thinking about what I'm going to make for dinner. Like at this point, I could do a lot, man. But yeah.
That's one of my favorites. Then another one. This one's good. We're going deep. Get your scuba diving gear.
That's a good one. Yep.
Keep going. Hold on. Here we got no lurkers, of course. Don't be a Hatreon, be a Patreon. Love that one.
That's a good one. That
buy a pillow to prop your girl's ass on.
That's a good one too. It's sticking.
And I've got a bunch of other ones. Of course, this one's good. You always use this one. We just go where the horse leads.
That's my dad. That's my dad. My dad. That's one of Arnie Stone's great, words of wisdom from Arnie Stone. Just go where the horse leads you. That's my dad. Words of wisdom from Arnie Stone. Yep.
Right. All right. In terms of shout outs, Drew, definitely for you. Thank you so much for taking the time to invite us on. I mean, the fact that anyone in the U.S. I mean, the American hardcore scene is so big. There's so many bands in your own scene. For anyone to take an interest on anything that goes on beyond your own borders means so much. And then if you're going to the other side of the world and you're paying attention to what's going on in Asia, and that's why I do my website, uniteasia.org, is so that people have that connection. But for you to, reach out to us and give us this opportunity to come on and talk and just tell the world about our story, man, it means so much. Thank you so much for doing this, Drew.
Yeah, it's my pleasure, and that's really what it's about. It's not to sound corny, but I've said this before on the show. I've interviewed a lot of people, a lot of big shots, the Metallica guys, Cyndi Lauper, John Lydon, and to me, at this stage of the game, I just as much enjoy speaking to the guy, the guy down the street, the guy that's driving a garbage truck. People are people. And it's just what I do, and it's just what I enjoy, and it's my passion, and hardcore is my passion. New York hardcore is one of my loves in life, and New York hardcore has been very good to me, and it's important to just give back, and like with the show, I feel like it's important to not just have like big names on. It's important to balance that out, to give opportunities to other people that might not be, because we have a big audience now. This show is seen by thousands of people around the world. So I like to balance it out. For every kind of real big shot, I like to get somebody like, on here that might not be as big and expose them to the worldwide audience. So that's important to me. That's just my passion, Leo, how about you, brother? Anybody you want to shout out?
I want to thank you, Drew.
My pleasure.
My friend Machine Gun Mike, he helped me to bought your DVD, the New York Hardcore Chronicles film, and I played this DVD on the 7th China Hardcore Festival.
Oh, thank you.
And after the show.
Mm-hmm.
And
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I want to thank you, Steven and Machine Gun Mike, to make all this happen.
Fantastic.
And also Riz. United Asia was great. The website gives the opportunity to the world to know what's happening in Asia, both of China and Asia.
Yeah.
For the hardcore and punk and metal or the music scene. Great work.
Fantastic. I wish you both all the best. You're welcome back anytime. I'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you, everyone.
Well, there you have it. Wow. That was a great show, man. God damn. Hey, Brian, that was really cool to see, man. That it's nice and it's nice to balance things out a little bit, and bring all kinds of people on the show. May, thank you, May, and thanks for being a part of the show. Pepe, thank you, and just everybody. Clint Eastwood, thank you, and yeah, these bands do justice to the best of the New York hardcore sound. Hey, Sid.
Yes.
Don't you have a show to do, bro?
In about 4 minutes.
Yo, go watch Sid's show, everybody.
No, not watch it. Go listen to it.
Go listen to Sid's show because Sid's good. He plays a lot of crappy punk rock stuff that I can't stand. Right?
And that's why I do it. I do it to annoy Drew and just annoy the shitload of people. That's why it makes it so.
Some of the stuff you play, I'm like, what is this?
Like, who the fuck is this band? I never heard this band before. They fucking suck.
They suck, bro. But it's okay. I know you like sucky stuff, so it's okay.
Hey, everybody does, including you, Drew.
I know. All right, Sid, have a good show. I'll talk to you later.
All right, later.
Listen, I love Sid, man. Sid's a big part of the success of this show. I bust his balls, but it's okay. It's part of it. That's right, Gina. Sid's great, and it's just we're just being silly on here. It's part of the charm. I always say, it's like, what the hell is this? Like, God, so there you go. Let's just want to remind everybody one last time. Let me find it. The next show is the holiday show. It's going to be a long show. We're going to have a lot of guests on. We got some special guests, including Kevin Egan from Beyond and Wildcard Henderson. So check that out. That's this Wednesday. It's the holiday show. Let's do that. Great show. What else can I say? Thank you all. And I'll see you on Wednesday for the holiday show. Until then, do good things. And good things will come to you.